Let's talk about the quadruple for Liverpool, by the way. Unbelievable stuff. Okay, Sadio Mane deserves a mention, by the way, the highest-scoring African player in Champions League history. That's pretty freaking remarkable for Sadio Mane. But Liverpool in itself, Jonathan Johnson, let's begin with you here. I mean, the quadruple quest continues. It's unbelievable, really, what they're on their way to achieving. Here we go. They've won the League Cup. They're a finalist against Chelsea in the FA Cup. The Premier League, they're still searching for that, of course, with Manchester City, and the Champions League. They're in the final, their 10th Champions League final. It's really unbelievable, as well as the fact of all the matches they have been playing. Every match that they could be in, they've been in this season. That's remarkable, Jonathan Johnson.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been saying recently, I think as recently as last week, just how phenomenal this would be as an achievement if Liverpool can pull it off. I'm still of the thinking, and I've sort of grown in my confidence in this thought after seeing that 90 minutes just there, that Liverpool may well still slip up in one of these pursuits. I'm not sure exactly where it'll come. My suspicion is that it'll be in the league. We discussed this in the pod recently with James. It just feels like Liverpool probably will win 3 or 4. I think I definitely think they're good for that. They've got the momentum behind them. They've got that mentality as well. It's going to be very, very tight. It wouldn't surprise me to see this going absolutely down to the wire. And assuming that results fall in their favour, then Liverpool absolutely can do it based on the evidence of this evening. But if there are teams who can make them doubt, as City could, if they do come up against them in the final of the Champions League, then from what we've seen from Liverpool tonight, something rare, where the mask slipped for a moment, where Villarreal were putting them under pressure, they can still be gotten at, despite the fact that they seem to be this all-conquering machine that we're seeing on all fronts.
I mean, it is possible that what we just saw was the wobble. This is a team that's good enough, that has enough depth, that it can address those issues in time for Saturday night. I mean, that certainly is going to be a tough game against Tottenham, probably the toughest they have left. But equally, they have the quality to win pretty comfortably. I mean, I kind of said after the City Liverpool game that actually everyone was talking about how it wouldn't decide the title, and I kind of wasn't entirely convinced, but thought it might, and that those two teams might just win out from there on in. And it looks like that may well be the case. Who knows about the FA Cup final? Who knows about the Champions League final? These one-off games, as we've seen, if Liverpool drop 45 minutes like that against City, or even against Chelsea, if Chelsea get themselves back in order, they might not, be able to just flick a switch and get it done in the other 45 minutes. I mean, the other thing to say, everyone kind of would rightly assume that this is an unprecedented season in which Liverpool have played every single game. It's actually not even the first one this century where they played every single game. 2000, 2001, where they won a
Julio squad,
yeah, right the way through to the UEFA Cup final and won both domestic cups. But having said that, I think it is more impressive when you're competing at the top of the league, when you cannot afford to drop even 2 points in the Premier League. It's a remarkable achievement, and we're going to naturally end up comparing their haul to City's. It might be that City end up with nothing. I mean, these are going to be 2 of the greatest seasons anyone's had, even if actually one of these teams doesn't win a trophy. I think if one of them doesn't, or if City even don't, because obviously Liverpool have the Carabao Cup, I think it'll be the greatest trophyless season I've ever seen. That's for sure.
Yeah, Caleb had a comment there. Why are we talking about a quadruple when we haven't had a double or treble? Because they have a chance of doing a quadruple. That's the whole point. Until they get knocked out of one, then we'll talk about a treble. Then we'll talk about a double. Go ahead.
They've got 6 games left. If they win 6 games in a row, if Liverpool win 6 games in a row,
they're quadruple champions. Yeah,
be a quadruple winner.
We have to talk about it, Galen. Well, how could you not talk about it? Yes, we could talk about the treble, we could talk about the double, but they're on their way to getting a quadruple. The At a Time podcast. Who would have had a better season? Liverpool with the Premier League, FA, and Carabao, or Manchester City with Champions League? Who wants to take this one first? Jonathan?
Yeah, I'll go first. Adding to James's thoughts, I mean, sort of in terms of the play and what we've seen from City, I take your point that, this will be one of the greatest trophy list seasons ever. But if City don't come away with some silverware, notably the Champions League, I think that will feel very, very bitter. We're assuming that they do manage to get past Real. That's a big assumption based on everything that we've seen over the last 10 days or so. But, City still favourites, to get to the final. And then if City were to lose 2 finals in the Champions League in a row, that would really, really hurt. I don't think there'll be any sort of consolation prize like, oh, it's been fantastic football. I think they'd rather scrape their way to victory and finally lift that trophy than
especially if they lose it to Liverpool, I think.
But then we end up, of course it all matters, but then we sort of end up reducing the expanse of 9 months to 90 minutes. And I know that part of that is sport, that, that is how it kind of works in the end. Equally, I don't particularly see how it's a failure to fall short against this Liverpool team. I don't see how it's a failure for Liverpool to fall short against this City team. I think, and I know this is quite airy-fairy and, it's hold hands and form a peace sign thing, but it has been spectacular.
No, it has, but it will be a failure. I think when you think about when Leicester City won the Premier League, people talk about Leicester City winning the Premier League and Tottenham completely messing it up, as opposed to thinking back then now, oh, Tottenham, you're so brave, you nearly did it, but Leicester City. I agree with you. There's no shame in losing, a Champions League final if you beat Real Madrid to a Liverpool, whatever, but it will be a failure, I think, if a Man City fan is looking around in the July and looking back at this season and having no.
But this is also assuming that they lose the league and the Champions League to Liverpool,
what do you think?
Which is a big.
Do you think? What's your instinct right now with the Premier League?
I think that City will just about do it.
James Bench?
Yeah, I think City will do it.
Okay, so I agree. So there you go. So at least they have one, right? There you go. It's not bad. Okay, but Liverpool continue on this quest. Caleb, yes, and that will be in the treble. So there you go. All right.
I think
Bench wanted to add something
as well.
Yep, and the Champions League for Liverpool.
And the City will win the Champions League.
Oh,
and I still think Liverpool.
Okay, so you jumped. You got them beating Real Madrid then.
Oh, easy.
Easy, James Bench. Where's that guy, James Bench?
and I think Liverpool will still have had a fantastic season, even if they also lose to Chelsea. And I wouldn't want to hear the word failure attached to their season. I would disagree with that quite vehemently.